Hello from slidenerd and hello from Weaves. What's up folks? In this video, I'm going to talk about some optimization in Android. Something which not many people have touched about in Android on YouTube. So here, we are going to talk about how we can make our list view better. Now the first question you have is, hey, what is bad about this? Well, take a look. This is the same list view which I have been developing over the last 6 or 7 videos I guess. And if you scroll down and up, you will notice that it takes a miraculously large amount of scrolling to actually see things work right. So this is not a good user experience. What is the problem over here? You guys are wondering, right? Why is this so slow? Well, the problem is this getView method gets called a lot of times, and the problem is we are creating a whole lot of objects over here, and that means we are using a whole lot of heap memory every time this getView method gets called. So let's actually see what are the two possible solutions out there. This first solution, which I'm going to talk about in this video, optimizes the list view by 150%. So let's go and see what needs to be done. Alright, so here we are going to talk about list view optimization by 150% using a technique called object recycling, or you can also call it as view recycling. Here you have my list view over here, which is blank at the moment. The first row is shown to the user, but before that the getView method is called, right? Same thing happens for the second row, third row, and so on. Now if you notice, each call to the getView method, here is the following list of things that happen. There is a layout inflator object being created so that you can actually inflate from XML to Java. Now I have discussed about layout inflation in my playlist. If you guys are new to this, please go ahead, check that out in my playlist. And then there is this view row object which is being created from inflation. Text view, image view resources are being initialized. As you guys notice over here, this is one image view, there's this one text view, this description part is another text view, and all these objects are being created every time for every single row. That is actually a lot of memory being used on the runtime, alright. So these are the following issues which we have. One, as the user scrolls, many more objects are created. Now think about this. You have 100 contacts on your phone. What would happen if your list view had to show all the 100 contacts with their images, description, and whatnot details? That would be a whole lot of objects being created, right? And then, two, remember, not every view is being seen by the user at the same time. If you have 100 contacts, the user probably sees 5 or 10 at the most at a given time, depending on the screen size. That means the other objects, they are just being created and thrown off. That means they are being garbage collected, because this runs on Java, right? So both object creation and garbage collection use CPU heavily. CPU depends on battery, so the battery power is drained faster. And not only that, your list view is also very slow, right? As you guys saw that, I showed you guys exactly why the list view was so slow there. And last but not the least, remember, the amount of heap memory available per app is limited, so you have to make sure that you use within the limit, otherwise your app crashes. Now if you guys are new to this concept of heap memory, let me tell you, there's a fixed amount of memory called the heap memory allocated for each app, where you can create your own objects. If you exceed this memory, your app is gonna crash. Alright, so our solution with the help of view recycling, let me show you what exactly happens. Now this is the same code which I had in my past 5 or 6 videos. If you guys haven't seen them, please go and check them out, because here I'm simply continuing what I did in those videos. This is the code, which was something like that. And then this is our structure of a single row, which had a relative layout, an image view, and 2 text views, which I have not shown over here. Simply a dot dot dot. This is the most expensive operation, which is nothing but layout inflation. Now I have discussed why this is an expensive operation in a separate video about layout inflator in my playlist. This view row object is returned by this getView method, right? And what is this row object? It is nothing but our relative layout. Now remember these 3 things for now. One is this row object is returned. This row object contains our relative layout, and this getView method actually returns our relative layout. These are the 3 things which you need to remember for now, because in the next slide I'm going to discuss these. Alright, so now let's move to the view recycling part. This is my empty list view over here. Alright, first time the user wants to see a row, the getView method is going to be called. Position is going to be 0, because it's the first row that is being shown. It's like an array, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Second parameter is null, which I have not discussed so far. Third parameter is a parent, which is nothing but this ListView object being passed inside. Alright. Then this row is shown because inside the getView method, I simply set this image view, set the title, set the description. Same way for the second row, only difference, 1 is being passed because it's the second row. Second row is shown. Third row, 2 is being passed, and so on. Now, the user wants to see the fourth row. What is he gonna do? He's gonna scroll down the list view. At this place over here, he's gonna scroll down, right? That means this is gonna go up, this is gonna go up, and so on with the row number 3. Now at this point, you need to remember something. Remember, 2 will be seen over here, 3 will be seen over here, 4 is going to be constructed over here at the bottom, right? That means 1 need not be shown to the user, right? That means that object can be used in some other way, and that is what we are going to do here. What is this 1? It's nothing but our view object. Remember in the last slide I told you, remember those 3 things, and that is exactly what this is. This is the row object which we returned from the getView method. So this object, instead of discarding it because it is not being seen by the user, we are going to reuse it. We are going to pass the same object somewhere else in the form of this getView method, position 3, and take a look. Second parameter, convertView, is nothing but this old object which is not being used anymore, and that is what view recycling is. Pretty simple, right? So now as you start scrolling down, more and more views will not be seen by the user, and they are gonna simply be sent here for recycling. So when you're creating stuff for the first time, this convertView is null over here, and when you're reusing stuff, this convertView actually has some old value of an initialized relative layout object in which you just need to change the values. Alright, it's pretty as simple as that. And then here you have the fourth row finally being created after this getView method called returns, and then it is being shown to the user. And this is how view recycling works in Android. This is one of the first ways of optimizing. There is another way which is more superior to this. I will talk about that in the next video. Alright folks, with a little tweaks here and there, I'm gonna make this 150% faster. You wanna see that? Alright, let's get started. So this convertView is null the first time your row is being created. That means if there was no previous object which can be recycled, then the convertView is null. Otherwise, it has a value, right? So let's exploit that. As you guys remember, this LayoutInflator equals to blah blah blah, and this thing over here, it is the most expensive operation over here, right? So we want to make sure that this happens only when the row is being created for the first time. We want to make sure that when we are recycling stuff, we don't want this inflator thing to work, alright? And as you guys remember, majority of the time we will be recycling. Now why? Because if you have 100 contacts in your list view, the first 5 or 6, maybe 10 or 20 will be created for the first time, but after that it's only gonna be a matter of recycling stuff. So we want to make sure that this inflator runs only when the row is being created first time. So let's go and do that. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna say view row equals to convertView. Now this does nothing great. If convertView is null, then my row is also null, right? And if convertView has some value, then my row also has some value. So here below there, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say if use the inflator only when you're creating stuff for the first time, right? That should do the trick, right? If row is null, that means convertView is null, because I have said row equals to convertView, and convertView is null means the row is being created first time. So here I'm a LayoutInflator, and then I have my inflate method being run over here, right? Otherwise, we simply go ahead and we simply say row.findView by ID blah 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 blah. Because when your stuff is recycled, convertView is not null. That means this row object over here is not null. It contains a previous instance of your relative layout, right? And that means I can directly skip this step because of the if condition. This will not work, and then here I will be in this place where I can directly say row.findView by ID blah 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 set value, right? And that's all we need to do. Well, very simple. That's all we needed to do to optimize stuff 150%. So let's actually see if this works. Alright, so here I have my list view again running in the emulator. So here if you see, things are very fast this time, 150% optimized. As you guys can notice, that our ListView optimization trick is working beautifully. Alright, so I hope you guys have understood something out of this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.